All right, it's the next day. Had a good sleep and just got in here the first thing this morning. Couldn't wait to put up the jelly lights. So that's what we've got there. One switch on. As you saw in other videos, you saw these as being red. Customer wanted the option of having these red. Now, these are actually 120 volt AC light fixtures. However, I didn't want to run AC wires up here. And I like 12 volt, and all the ceiling lights, the neon lights, a lot of things in here are actually going to be 12 volt, all the clearance lights, as well as the tail lights. So it was just easier and better for me to convert these into 12 volt. And how I did that was you have your ground wire, your hot wire, and your neutral wire. Okay, so we get rid of the ground wire and we just work with the hot and the neutral. And what we do is we hook up the 12 volt positive to the hot, which would be the black. Your ground is, or the white neutral wire now becomes the ground wire for hooking the 12 volt up. And then we use 12 volt bulbs. And that's how you actually can convert any 120 volt fixture into a 12 volt. So, you don't always have to source out a 12 volt light. You can convert them. These are your standard bulbs that you've seen forever. You can get 12 volt bulbs in different configurations too. So they're actually readily available. I wanted this style of bulb to fill the globe here. Now, as I mentioned, the red, she wanted the option to make it red. We've got the red awning, the red detail around the bar top, the red wheel, as well as the red clearance lights and tail lights at the back. So what we did for her to be able to give her the option is we've got the gels, red gels. And what that is, it's a plastic film that's used in the film industry to cover the big lights for stages. And then we just cut a strip, and all you have to do is undo the one screw, drop the jelly glass, put the red gel in, stick it back up, and boom, instant, you've got red light. So that's kind of a cool feature. So the PVC, well, this is how far we got yesterday. As I mentioned, the PVC wall tile. And if you're wondering why we had to go through this, I think I touched on that. We really wanted to do real barnwood. So our customer has another trailer that we've done some extensive renovations on, and we did actually put real barnwood in her trailer, and it looks so high class. Unfortunately, because this isn't going in a commercial building, there's a food inspector involved, and this food inspector wants no wood above the working surface. So anywhere that there could be cleaning or food prep, they just do not allow one stitch of wood. That's just their rules and regulations. So now this is an important fact to consider. If you're wanting to do your own concession trailer in your part of the world, you are going to have to check with your local state or municipal guidelines. There are rules. They vary from state to state, from town to town, and they do not budge very much on their rules and regulations. So this is what we've had to face with. This is what we've come up as an option for that. I think it's a nice look. I mean, it breaks my heart that, when barnwood is a barnwood, and you cannot mistake barnwood. So anyway, this is working with the colors, that the color scheme we've got. It works with her branding. This is what we went with, and we're just going to be finishing it up today. All right, so some clarification on rules and regulations. So if you are doing a food truck or a concession trailer similar to this, now if you are going to put it into a commercial setting, like at parks or fairs where the general public is coming to this, and you are doing business, selling your cupcakes and your drinks and whatever, then it is under the jurisdiction of your municipal or state guidelines, and you have to follow those guidelines. So they will and it will vary from state to state, town to town. So you're going to have to double check on this. Now, if you are building one of these for your own recreational use, hell, you can do anything you want. You can put anything up on the walls. You can do any kind of countertops. Some people do this and they rent them out. If you're going to do that and do it just a little bit, on the side and so forth, and you're just renting it out to general public, then yeah, you don't have to go through all the super crazy rules and regulations. So I hope that helps you, in your endeavor. I certainly encourage you to build these kind of trailers and so forth. It is very popular. It's a great sideline hustle, as the term nowadays is being thrown around. It is great. It generates a lot of extra money. Some people have actually had to quit their own businesses and just do it full time because it's been so successful. So this is going in a commercial application. This is in a building. So we have to conform to codes, and that's what we're doing. So as much as we wanted to do that real barn wood, in this case, we just were not allowed. So we're working with the rules and regulations, figuring them out, and doing our work accordingly. So I hope that helps. Now we're going to continue on. We're going to work our way to that corner of the space, and then we are going to keep going and do the back of the front facing. This is our front. Even though that's the front of the trailer, this is our front because that's where all the action is going to happen with all the customers seated at the bar. So yeah, we'll just keep you up to date with how it's progressing, and let's get to it. All right, so we had started at the bottom with the main wall here, and then we got up to the top. And instead of trying to start at the bottom down here and working its way up and hopefully meeting at the top, the floor is not 100% dead perfect. It's pretty good, but it's not 100%. So the way I do it is I come up here, come over the door, and then I actually work downward toward the floor. When I put this piece and this piece on to match, I had it offset a little bit. I lined up lines and so forth. This door frame is a little crooked too, and that's actually the way it came from factory, and that's quite typical, believe it or not. These doors are never perfect, which is usually why they put a fabric header over it. And we're going to be doing our own wood-looking frame with the same laminate that we used for all the other window frames. And we'll be doing our own header and down pieces here. So basically, this being off a 1/16 of an inch, it didn't look quite right. You can see it's just a little bit lower. Now, it's not the end of the world because the people down there are actually going to be looking at it up this way, and it's actually an optical illusion. So when you're down there, it actually, and because this door, the paneling here is actually offset, it's actually sunken back. It's not the same.
Very particular.
Oh, I am very particular. Oh, well, hell yeah, we do good work here.
Oh my God.
So anyway, to remedy this, to get this back, so everything's going to be parallel, I ended up just trimming off a 1/16 of an inch, and anyway, back to normal. So these things, sometimes you have to be creative like that and just, fix things on the fly. Nothing's ever going to work out 100% perfect, ever. So you just roll with the punches. There you go. So a mistake is correctable. So there you go. Okay. A little later in the day, we have completed the wall with the door. So there's a lot of extra cuts, which kind of slows me down. This is just for me routering these little bits and bobs. So this flooring, when you router it around the trim and so forth, like around the door, I just put the pieces a little longer and just trimmed it up. It cuts like butter, absolutely like butter. I love the way it looks. It turned out really nice. I wish it had a little more depth to the design. and the pattern. But, you know, after all, you know, once everything's in here, it'll kind of blend away, and it's just a backdrop essentially. So now, oh, also, we do plan on putting shelving up here, a little bit of shelving, probably not too much, maybe 2, maybe 3. And we're going to be using these brackets here. That'll look really classy. These brackets actually match the front underneath the main bar top. We painted those ones silver to go with all the aluminum trim, so it's painted in aluminum silver. But this will look quite classy. But I'm just not 100% sure how much we're going to do that. We'll consult with the client to see what she wants to basically show off, like all the bottles and jam jars and whatnot that she sells. So I love it. You can see the fitment is really nice, and you know, it's got just a slight gap to allow for a little bit of expansion and so forth. I will be coming along here and putting a bead of that translucent silicone just to seal it up, and the silicone will expand and contract with the wood flooring, or with the PVC flooring that is now mounted on the wall. I like it. I hope my client likes it too. She's pretty good. I get her style. I get her branding. I understand it, and it's going to be a winner. So now we can go on to this far wall. So I've had very minimal waste. Whenever you're doing any kind of project like this with a floor or doing flooring on a wall, you always want around 10% extra, or at least minimum 5% extra when you buy. Now, when you're doing curves, a lot of curves like this, well, then I would order 10% extra as waste. You know, if you haven't done a lot of curves and so forth, it's a little more challenging, and your chance of screwing up some cuts are greater. Fortunately, I've been doing this for a long time, so I've got minimal wastage. So that's awesome. All right, onward and upward. All right, so we're just finishing our day, and you can see how much I've done. I ended up using a lot of the dark pieces simply because you actually aren't going to see any of this. So there's refrigerators, the bar stations, 2 of each going in here, and miscellaneous cabinetry plus plumbing and so forth. So you're pretty much not going to see any of that. You will see from about here on up. So this is where we're going to do the same color. That's the light and medium grays, a couple dark grays, and I've got a little bit of the light whites and browns left over. So I'll just mix that up and make it look similar to this. Again, the public isn't really going to see this unless they're looking through the front and the back window. So it's not as important as this backdrop. All right, so I'm beat. I'm going to call this a success. I'm happy with the way everything's gone. Couldn't ask for a whole lot better. What can I say? So join me on the next one, and onward and upward. All right, Monday morning, and we're just going to show you what we did on the weekend here. So I finished up the fake barnwood on the other wall, and Terry can get in on that. So it is a little darker. I ran out of some of the lighter pieces, but I think it still works. And customers that are coming to the bar, they're actually not going to really see that. So it's pretty good. It's pretty close to the other side anyway, and it works. And we're really happy with the way this turned out. Now, around the windows here on the inside, there is going to be a trim. That is to be determined with the countertops and the bar server area that is going in here. So very pleased, very happy. And we're just basically going to put this job on hiatus till the commercial kitchen designer figures out what they're going to do for this part of the trailer. So we're going to switch gears, and we're going to be working on that Beast project that you've seen on one of our other videos. We will be taking you step by step throughout the whole process. It's going to be cool. It's a lot of things going on. Like that's a full custom build. We did the slide out, custom slide out on it, took off the back wall, bumped it out 2 feet. A lot of cool features going into it. So we're excited and happy to get back on that project and, bring it to a conclusion. And we're happy to share that with you guys because I think it's neat. It's pretty unique. So that's where we're at. We're going to do a shop organizing day, clean up, move some things around, switch the units out. And when we pick up on this trailer again, we're happy to share it with you. And, and then finally, when it gets delivered to the food hall, that's where it's really going to shine. And we're excited to share that with you. So, all right. So we'll leave it at that and we'll pick up when we get onto the Beast project. All right. Have a good one.